Hi unicorn babies, it's baby Amberlyn, and in today's video is going to be a get ready with me, yay! So along with the get ready with me, I'm going to be answering some commonly asked questions about my lifestyle. So you guys had quite a lot of questions, I'm not gonna lie. Some of them will be answered today, some of them will be answered in another video that I do, but I think generally there's a lot of questions that should be answered in today's video. How did you know you were a little? In all honesty, I wasn't the one that discovered it. I was with somebody that came to me one day and goes, hey, I think you're a little. And I kind of just looked at him and I was like, what does that mean? Pretty much he explained to me that some people have certain mindsets to get rid of pain in their personal life. You know, maybe they've gone through trauma, maybe they've gone through abuse. And he explained to me that it's kind of sort of like a coping mechanism. And I was like, oh, you know, that fits me perfectly. So then I was like, okay, so what exactly does it mean to be a little? And he pretty much started pulling up some stuff on the internet, and I started reading about it, and it fit me quite well. Pretty much what it means to be a little, well, in my sense of the word, is basically anybody that can regress to a younger mindset than they are biologically. And another commonly asked question is, who can be a little? Anybody can be a little. Your mom can be a little, your best friend can be a little, your sister could be a little, your grandma and your grandpa can be a little. There's no set age on who can and cannot be a little. If you have that inner child in you, if you have that inner desire to be younger than you actually are, you can be a little. Anybody of any size, shape, age, sexuality, anybody of any skin color, anybody of any race. You can be transgender and be little, you can be a lesbian, you can be bisexual, you can be gay, straight, trans, you can be a little. Anybody can be a little. Another question that I have is, what is a daddy or mommy? A daddy or mommy is basically somebody that takes on that caregiver role to take care of you in your daily life and while you're in little space. In my personal life, my daddy goes out, he makes all the money, he does all the work to take care of me. It's not because I can't, it's not because I'm lazy. He has told me time and time again, you stay home, you be little, you manage the house, I'll go make the money, I'll do all the work, I'll make sure that you're taken care of. Another question that I will add on to that is, can littles work? That kind of fits into, can anybody be a little? You know, you can be a CEO or a president of a company and you can be little. You can not have a job and you can be homeless and you can be a little. You can be pregnant and be a little. You can be a mom and be a little. Anybody can be a little. There's no limit on who can and cannot be one. What if I feel like I'm a little and a caregiver? That is a really good question. In the BDSM community, which stands for bondage, submissive, dominance, masochism. Bondage, dominance, sadomasochism. Sorry, I said that wrong. Pretty much, BDSM stands for anything that falls under the umbrella term of kink. Kink should not be practiced by anybody under the age of 18. I cannot stress this enough. You can It is not recommended that you participate in ABDL or DDLG while you are under the age of 18. The only reason that I say that is because there are a lot of fake and toxic caregivers in the BDSM, in the age regression, in the DDLG and ABDL community. If you try to get involved under the age of 18 in any one of these communities, you are setting yourself up to be targeted by predators in this community. Yes, there are predators in this community. I have no problem with somebody under the age of 18 of their own accord behind closed doors being a little. There is nothing wrong with that. If you are 14, 15, 16 years old and you are an age regressor, that is perfectly fine. That is how you cope with your daily life. But please, to protect yourself, do not get involved with Facebook groups, Kik groups, Instagram groups, whatever social media that you use. Do not get involved in DDLG and kink-based groups, because you are going to set yourself up to be targeted. Because at the end of the day, you are under legal age of consent and people will take advantage of you. The only reason I say this is because it has happened to me. I am not a perfect little. I have made mistakes. It is a very bad idea if you are under the age of 18 or 16, depending on what state you live in. If you are under the legal age of consent, you should not be participating in BDSM terms or communities. I am only saying this to protect you. But what does it mean to be a little and a caregiver? That basically means that you are a switch, meaning that you could be a little and a caregiver at any given point of your day. You do not have to specifically choose one or the other. You could be both. What is the difference between age regression, DDLG, and ABDL? That ties into what I was just saying. Age regression is basically, well, in my sense of the word, that is anybody that uses age play or little space, as they like to call it, to cope with daily life under the age of 18. I could be wrong, do not quote me on this. I view age regressors as anybody that wants to participate in DDLG, but they are under the age of consent to do so. The way I view it is age regressors are people that are under the age of 18 that participate in DDLG, which is Daddy Dom Little Girl, which falls under the category of kink. Age regressors are people whose little space is not sexual. Let me stress that a second time. It is not sexual. Age regression, or AGERE, is non-sexual little space. What crosses the line into DDLG is if you use your little space as a sexual manner. DDLG, it falls under the category of kink, only because DDLG occurs between two consenting adults. Let me say that again, two consenting adults. DDLG cannot occur between a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. It cannot occur between a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. DDLG stands for Daddy Dom Little Girl. It should only be practiced between two consenting adults, because once you cross the line into DDLG, you are participating in kink. ABDL is another aspect of kink. ABDLs, or adult baby diaper lovers, are anybody over the age of 18 that participate in things such as wearing diapers, diaper wetting and diaper messing, dressing up as a baby, using cribs, using high chairs, using pacifiers. Typically, people that fit into this category, they do not talk, they crawl a lot, they're extremely dependent. But DDLG and ABDL fall under the category of kink, meaning they should not be practiced by people under the age of 18. I'm only saying this to protect you guys. I have nothing against against teen baby diaper lovers, which is another aspect of ABDL that can be practiced by people under the age of 18. Do you have to be a girl to be a little? No. You can be a girl, you can be transgender, you can be a boy, you can be an adult, you can be a teenager, but you do not have to be any specific age to be a little. Can I be a little if I'm plus size? Yes. Anybody of any age and any size can be a little. Well, anybody of any age over the age of 18 can be a little. Good and bad rules and punishments. I want to classify that as a good rule is anything that both the dominant and submissive in the relationship have both agreed on. That is another reason why, including me personally, I have signed a rules and punishments contract with my dom. The reason that I signed this contract is once those rules are in place, once you get in trouble, it's kind of hard to go back on that unless, of course, the rule that you have broken and the punishment that you are receiving crosses the line into abuse. If it starts to affect your mental health, if it starts to affect your physical health, you do not have to go through with it. You, as the submissive, have so much more power than your dominant has. A daddy or a mommy dom or a master in the BDSM community only has as much power as the submissive gives them. Submission is earned, not taken. What makes a good and a bad caregiver? Along the lines of what I just said, a good caregiver is somebody that takes care of you, somebody that provides for you physically and emotionally and spiritually. A bad caregiver, once you cross the line from punishment to abuse, you are no longer a good caregiver, you are toxic. If your little is having mental or physical health issues and you still continue to follow through with the punishment or the rule after they have told you countless times that they are not okay with it, it is crossing the line into abuse. You are no longer healthy for that little or that submissive or that slave. Pretty much as long as you do not cross the line into abuse, whatever your submissive will classify as abuse, so long as you do not cross that line, you are a good caregiver for that specific little. Can you be little if you're older? You can be a little of any age over the age of 18. That's the way that I look at it. You can be little underage, but in my terms of the word, little space falls into the category of kink, since it falls into the category of DDLG or mommy dom little girl, mommy dom little boy. That is why I have said before that if you are little and you are under the legal age of consent for your state or for federally, whatever the legal age of consent will be, if you are little under the legal age of consent, I will classify you as an age regressor. How do you know your little age? Your best bet, I found out my little age by doing quizzes online. I mean, that's really how I did it, because, it's kind of hard, in my opinion, to classify what your little age will be, by yourself. I mean, if you have children and you notice that you're starting to act like your kids and you know how old your children are, that is another way that you could do it. I mean, that's just my opinion. How do you know you're in little space, and what is it? Little space is any type of mindset that you slip into that contradicts your biological age. So, for example, if you are in your 30s and you slip into a mindset that is a teenager, that is your specific little space. No two people have the exact same little space. Little space varies based on who you are and what your preferences are when you're in little space. That's the way that I look at it. You're in little space once you start to realize that you're no longer acting like your biological age. But, like I said, no two people are the same. Oh, I'm putting these cutesy little bows in my hair. These are two of my favorite bows. I love my little sparkly bows. Anyway, is age regression a cope for PTSD? When I was still underage, I used age regression as a way to cope with my PTSD. I will not recommend it be your only cope for PTSD, though. If you do suffer from a mental illness, which, let me just clear that up right now, not all of us littles and age regressors and people in the kink community suffer from mental illnesses. We don't. So, for those of you out there that are saying, oh, you know, she's little because she has daddy issues, she's an ABDL because she has mental problems, that is not true. Okay, the majority of us littles and doms, or dom, as I would like to use for the feminine aspect of the word, the majority of us do not have mental issues. We use this as a lifestyle. Now, here is a rhetorical question I will ask. If you're a female, right, and you walk into your bedroom with a schoolgirl skirt on, and your dom looks at you like, damn, she thick, you know, she's looking really nice, I like that skirt on her, does that mean that your partner has mental issues just because you're walking in the room with a schoolgirl skirt on? All that the DDLG and ABDL and age regression community is, it is fantasy. That's all that it is. It is fantasy. It is wishing that we were younger than we actually are. We do not actually believe that we are younger than we are. Now, I just want to clear up that assumption right now. The majority of us do not have mental issues, okay? Some of us do, some of us use it as a cope. But those select people do not speak for the whole community. If you do have severe mental issues and you are participating in BDSM of any kind, I highly recommend that you talk to a therapist, that you journal about your feelings. I have nothing against people with mental issues. I'm not perfect myself. But I would not recommend that you participate in any kind of BDSM if you have severe mental issues, unless you are working on getting those worked out, because once you cross the line of safe, sane, and consensual, it crosses the line into abuse, even if you don't realize that that's what's going on. So, if you do have severe problems, and you are getting help for it, and you are participating in BDSM or DDLG, ABDL, or age regression, good for you. You know, that is personally how you cope with your problems. But if you do not, if you cannot comprehend the definition of safe, sane, and consensual, that basically means that you have communicated with your partner what you are about to do, and they have given you verbal consent to do what you are doing. If you are crossing that line and you are doing things with or to your partner that you're not okay with and they're not okay with, you need to stop immediately. That is the definition of a safe word. That's why the majority of us submissives have a safe word in place. Because once we say that safe word, whatever is going on needs to stop immediately, because if it does not stop, that is considered abuse. Okay, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here, but if you are participating in any of the things I just listed and you cannot keep it safe, sane, and consensual, I highly recommend that you don't participate in it. That is just my personal opinion. Can anybody in the LGBT community be a little? Yes. You can be of any sexuality. You can be transgender. You can be a little regardless what you are. Okay? Now, here are some personal questions as far as my little space goes in the little space tag. What is your favorite stuffy? My favorite stuffy right now is my unicorn. Her name is Twinkle, and I love her very much. She was given to me from a past daddy dom that it just did not work out with, but because she is so cute and she is sparkly, I don't know if you guys can tell, she's sparkly, I can't get rid of her. I cannot get rid of her. And my current daddy is okay with that. He plans on buying me a different unicorn. What is your favorite animal? My favorite animal would either have to be a duck or a wolf. When do you usually go to bed? I don't actually have a set bedtime, believe it or not. But when I do have a set bedtime, it's usually because I wasn't acting right. And this is totally unrelated, but I'm gonna put this perfume on. It is Our Moment by One Direction. Oh, I love this perfume. What is your favorite little drink and snack? My favorite little drink would have to be juice of any kind. I love juice. Like, I am addicted to sugary drinks, and I know I probably shouldn't be because I don't want to become a diabetic. And my favorite little snack would have to be peanut butter and fluff or peanut butter and Nutella. I love both of those things. Do you have a passy? Yes. And unfortunately, I didn't take out my passy box before I started the video, so I will definitely be taking a picture of my favorite passy and including it at the end of the video. What's your favorite little activity? Going outside to the field right next to my house and blowing bubbles has to be my favorite thing. What's your favorite Disney movie? Oof. That's kind of difficult. If I had to pick a favorite one, it would probably have to be Lion King. Who is your favorite fictional character? Okay, so I am not just saying this because I know some of you guys probably watched supernatural shows. My favorite fictional character, in all honesty, I cannot choose between Marcel Gerard and Klaus Michelson from the originals. I cannot choose between the two, so I'm just going to put down that I have two favorites. Do you have a mommy or daddy? Yes. I do have a daddy. He is 24 years old. We met over the internet back when I was still younger. And after I moved out of my mom's house, we finally decided that we were going to get together. And we've been together since December of 2018. I am engaged. As far as to when Daddy and I are getting married, I do not know. Honestly, don't know. My favorite season would have to be fall. I love it when the air starts getting all nice and crisp, and I know that's kind of weird for me to say since I do live in Florida, but I love it when the air starts to get all cool and crisp, like first thing in the morning. Like, when fall hits, I will on purpose get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning just to go outside and just like open my door and just like smell the air. I don't know if that makes any sense. Just like smell the air, and it's just like you can smell that it's autumn. And I just love it because then it's like, you know, I can start putting on my sweaters, I can start buying pumpkin spice lattes, I can start, you know, Christmas shopping. I really want to apologize if I was just like ranting at the beginning of this video, but there's a lot of points that I just like really had to stress. I'm sorry. My favorite little show is We the Bear Bears on Cartoon Network. I love We the Bear Bears, and I actually want to make a shout out to my two youngest sisters. You guys are awesome. You know, I love it when you guys come to my house and you introduce me to different kinds of little shows that you guys enjoy. Little do you guys know, once you leave, I don't just delete those shows from my queue. I continue to watch them because they are badass. You guys have some badass shows to watch as little kids. Like, I envy you guys. You guys don't have really educational stuff to watch anymore, but you guys have some amazing ass TV shows to watch as kids. I'm just gonna throw that out there. My favorite book. If I had to choose my favorite little book, it would have to be Lion King or Wall-E. My favorite book when I'm not in little space would have to be Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children or the Harry Potter series and the Percy Jackson series. I love all three of those books. I love them. What do you wear when you're in little space? Okay, this right here is typically what I wear. It's Melanie Martinez's band merch from Hot Topic. It says K through 12 on it, and I also have a K through 12 necklace. I have the K and my sister has the 12. And I usually wear overalls and silly socks that you guys kind of can't see right now because of the way that I have the camera. But the socks I'm wearing right now, they're pink and they have rainbow planets on them. Are you into pet play? If so, what animal? That is a question that I get asked very, very often. Yes, I am into pet play. It's not something really that I get to experience so much, only because my daddy is very, very busy. But when I do get to be in pet space, I am a kitten and I'm also a baby wolf. I do have a couple tails. I don't have any ears at the moment that I find suitable to wear. I do plan on either making or buying some ears on a headband so that I can just like stick it on so that I can wear them, especially when I'm out and about, because that is like awesome and animal ears are in now. So what is something that is on my wish list? Something that is on my wish list that I really, really want and I will somehow find a way to acquire is the Little for Big mystery box with the two onesies, and with the two onesies that you do not get to pick. You just pick your size and they ship you two of their onesies, two of their adult pacifiers, some stickers to decorate them with, and some coloring books. I want that so, so bad. I'm really, really hoping that either my mom, her boyfriend, or my daddy will buy me the Little for Big mystery box from Amazon, because I have wanted that for like 2 years and I just did not have the money for it. What is my favorite color? I actually do not have a favorite color. I typically like pastel colors. So if I had to pick my favorite pastel color, it would have to be pastel blue, which is what this shirt is. You guys probably can't tell because it looks a little green in the light. And pastel pink. Do you wear diapers? I used to wear diapers. I used to wear Goodnight's pull-ups. I used to wear the boys' ones and the girls' ones, only because when I met my daddy, he asked me if I was into diapers, because, you know, just asking. And at the time, I wasn't into it, so he had, like, bought me a pack of the Goodnights and asked me if I would try them. And this was back, like, 80 pounds ago, back when they still fit me. I can't buy diapers at the moment because the diapers that are my size are like $200 a pack, and I like don't have money for them. So I guess the way I can answer that is I used to, but I can't wear them now. Which is better, in my opinion, coloring or drawing? You guys can probably see up on my wall, I do have quite a lot of coloring pages, but my personal opinion as to which one's better, I like to draw. I like to draw. Now, when I'm in little space, like really, really little space, my favorite thing to do is to color. Excuse me. My favorite thing to do is to color, because I love coloring things and putting them up on the wall, and then when Daddy gets home from work, I love just pulling him into the room and just pointing at the wall at what I did, because I get so much praise, and it just makes me feel like a little angel princess baby. I just love it so much. Do I have any pets? Yes. Daddy has a dog. He's like 10 years old, and he's a Shih Tzu. And I have a black and white cat. His name is Bubba. And I have a hamster. She's going on 2 years old. I don't even know how she's still managing to be alive, because her species literally does not live past a year and a half. So I have her, and her name is Samantha. So we don't exactly have a zoo, but we do have quite a few animals in this apartment that's like really, really small. Do I have any cute talents? I love to sing. I love to sing. And I really hate it that Daddy likes to bust my ass about it, because sometimes I'll just be like in the room with my earbuds in and I'll be singing, and I will think that Daddy's gone doing whatever it is that he has to do, and then he'll just like pull the door open and he'll be like, "Oh my god, you sound so good," and I'm just like, "I didn't know you were still here." But yeah, that's my cute talent. My favorite Disney princess. My favorite Disney princess is Elsa. I love Elsa. I love Elsa, I love Cinderella, and I love Aurora, Sleeping Beauty. I love those three. I'm sorry, I do. My favorite little meal. My favorite little meal would have to be chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. Favorite. That is like my favorite little meal. At home. When I'm out and about, I love to get Happy Meals, because I know this might sound a little immature, but that's kind of what we're here for, right? I love to get Happy Meals because I love the toys that come in the Happy Meals. Probably when Daddy and I move out of my apartment and we get our own place, I do want to put a shelf up on the wall next to the bed so I can put like all my Happy Meal toys on it. That's just what I'm hoping for. It might not necessarily work out like that, but that's what I'm hoping for. My favorite clothing or accessory. My favorite clothing has to be the shirt that I'm wearing right now, because I love Melanie Martinez. And my favorite accessory would have to be the bows that I put in my hair, because I like love anything that sparkles. My little hobbies. I like to color, I like to sing, I like to watch TV, I like to go outside and blow bubbles, I like to walk, I like to listen to music. I have quite a lot of little hobbies. And the last and final question for today's video is, what is my little age? Me personally, my little age is 326, meaning that I still use sippy cups, I still use pacifiers sometimes, but I'm kind of like, hitting the, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm kind of like passing over into pre-adolescence. So, one of my favorite things that I like to do is I like to talk back, knowing that I'm gonna get in trouble, but I like to talk back, and I like to ask a lot of questions. Like, Daddy will tell me, hey, I have to go out and make money, and I'm like, but why? And he's like, 'cause I have to. I'm like, but why? And he's like, sweetie, I have to go out. I'm like, no. And he's like, you need to let me go. And I'm like, no. And he's like, he hates all the questions that I ask. Or it's like, he'll tell me that he has a surprise for me, and I'm like, can I have it now? Can I have it now? Can I have it now? How about now? Can I have it now? Please? 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 And he's like, ask me one more damn time. And I'm like, okay. Sorry. It's like I get myself in these situations where I'm like setting myself up to fail, and then I'm sitting there like, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Now granted, that's just little me that does that. But anyway, so unfortunately I didn't have much to do for my get ready with me, because I am a pretty bland person. I don't wear makeup, I just do my hair and I tone my face in the morning, because I have an AC in my room and I don't sweat in my sleep, so. But that's all for today's video. If you guys want any more questions, if you guys want videos on one specific topic, feel free to put it down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, unicorn babies!